oi. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Hello, my name's Felipe, and I'm here to do the low-level circuit class today. You might be watching this live, or you might be watching this in your own time. Either way, it should be the same. And really, all you need to know is you can do each exercise from either stood up or sat down. You don't have to use weights if you don't want to. Make sure you've got a drink of water with you, and yeah, sort of do as much or as little as you want. Okay. Without further ado, I will make a start. I'm just going to pop a little bit of music on in the background, and then we will start our warm up. Okay. Righty. So we're going to start our warm up nice and easy, and we're going to build it up as we go through. So let's start with a nice gentle march on the spot. I'm hoping you can see me okay. Looks like we're okay. So as I say, we'll start nice and easy, and we're going to build it up through the warm-up so that we're ready for the main section. So we're not going to use any weights for this warm-up, and you'll have the option of using weights in the main section. Okay, moving into some heel digs now. Just digging our heels out in front into the ground, one at a time. As I say, you can do all of these exercises from a seated position as well. So I will demonstrate some of them, but not all of them, because most of them are pretty self-explanatory. One tip I would have if you are using a chair is to sit in the front half of the seat. So that way you are engaging your tummy muscles and getting the most out of it that you can. Let's get our arms moving as well. We're going to bring some bicep curls into this. At your own pace as well, guys. Don't feel like you have to copy my speed. Go at whatever feels comfortable for you. Okay, back to a march on the spot. Okay, and this time, whilst our feet are marching, our legs are marching, I want with our upper body to just roll our shoulders forwards. Bit of multitasking for you. Just to loosen up our upper body a little bit. And roll them backwards as well, or the other way, whichever way you started. Lovely. Okay, into some toe taps out in front. Let me just fix my speaker 1 second. Keep going with those toe taps. Okay, let's put some arms in there as well. Punches forwards. Fantastic. There we go, got there in the end. Punch up to the ceiling if we can. If it hurts your shoulders, just keep punching forwards or even downwards is fine. Bless me. Oh, I hope I'm not coming down or something. I managed to dodge all of the leggy going round this Christmas. It's just gone. It's been a Christmas miracle. Okay, back to some marching on the spot for us. This time, just try and bring those knees a little bit higher. Pump those arms a little bit more. We're just trying to increase the intensity of what we're doing gradually as we go through this warm-up. Okay, we're going to move into some half jacks, and we'll do this in the main section as well, so we're good to get it down. We're just going to be going side steps one at a time, and almost like star jump action with our arms, just raising our arms at the same time as we're side stepping. Just trying to get some lateral movement in here, trying to help us with our balance and coordination. Fantastic. And back to a march on the spot for me. With most of our exercises that we do, they tend to have a bit of a function, a daily function that they're trying to improve for us. So whether it be a squat that we're doing, we're trying to improve your ability to get out of bed or off the couch or whatever it might be. But ideally, trying to improve your functionality from day to day. Okay, high knees next. So I want your hands round about where your belly button is. And just raise them as comfortably high as possible. If you can't raise them all the way up, you don't need to. Even just halfway is enough. Again, you can do this from the seated position. I'll just show you. Sitting in the front half of your chair, at least. So that our tummy muscles are engaged here. Okay, last couple. Brilliant. Okay, we're going to do some spotty dogs. With this one, you can't do it sat down. So I'm going to ask you to get out your chair and use your chair as support. So we're going to use the back of the chair as support, and we're going to be doing some of these, what we call backwards steps. Okay, if you're stood up, we're going to be doing our backwards steps, but I want us to be raising our arms out in front as well. It's what we call a spotty dog exercise. At your own pace, as always. Last couple of minutes of the warm-up here. Hopefully we've started to feel a little bit warmer. Last few of these. Fantastic. Okay, into some squats now. Or if you were sat down, you will do a sit to stand. So you will just stand up from your chair and sit back down. If you stood up, I want feet at least shoulder width apart, nice and wide. And focus on pushing our hips back and just bending our knees slightly. Okay, into a squat position. You don't have to go all the way down. Just whatever's comfortable for you. What we're doing here is just waking up the muscles around our hips that are probably dormant after being lying down in bed for however long, hopefully more than 6 hours. I could get 10 hours sleep every day, I'd be a happy man. Last couple. Okay, fantastic. Just to finish, we're going to do some punch outs with heel digs or toe taps actually. Bit of a coordination test. You can't really see my feet, can you, very well? I'm just tapping my toes on the floor out in front of me. I'll show you from the seated position as well. Really make sure your posture is upright when you're in the chair and when you stood up, that is, so that we are improving our core stability and our balance and posture. Punch upwards towards the ceiling if we can for the last couple. 3, 2, 1, and take a little rest. Okay, that's the warm up complete. I'll give you 30 seconds or so just to have a quick sip of your drink, and then we will start the main section. I'm just going to tip this down a little bit so you can see my feet a little bit better. Hopefully. Seems a little bit better. Probably the best I can get without chopping my head off. That's better, I think. Okay, let's make a start then on our main section, shall we? So for this, you have the option of using weights. You don't have to, and if you've been told not to, I would suggest not to by your consultant or surgeons or whatever. But either way, you can do it with or without. Okay, we're going to do each exercise for probably about a minute, and probably less actually, maybe 45 seconds, and then we'll rest for 10 to 15 seconds, and then we'll do that continuously as a circuit. And we'll do that twice with a break in between, okay? Right, let's make a start. So, I want us to grab both of our weights by our sides. We're going to be doing some side raises. So, raising the weights to either side, like so. Off you go when you're ready. Notice how I am moving my feet. At the same time, I'm pumping my heels into the ground. And that's going to be a theme throughout this main section because we know that it helps pumping blood around the body. So if you can, try to do that as well. 3, 2, 1. Fantastic, well done. I want you to put one of your weights down, and you can hold your other weight in your palms like this. I can't speak today. In between your palms like this, and we'll do a nice squat or a sit stand if you're seated. Off you go when you're ready, just like we did in the warm-up. Feet nice and wide apart. Make sure we're sticking our bum out by pushing our hips back and bending our knees. If you're in a sit to stand, just make sure you sit down, and then make sure you drive through your heels as you stand up. You don't have to use the weight, and instead you can use your arms to just push you off using either your arm rests or your knees. 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Okay, you can grab your other weight now. And we're moving on to our punch outs. Give me a couple of seconds to get ready. 3, 2, 1. Okay. So one at a time, punching out. Again, you can see I'm moving my feet. I'm doing what we did in the warm-up. Some toe taps at the same time. Again, just to promote blood flow. And also, it keeps your brain young because you're obviously trying to coordinate. And who doesn't want that? To be young again. Yes, that's right. I think I'm old. It's all relative though, isn't it? All relative. Okay, last couple. 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. You pop your weights down for us, and we're going to do a little bit of a leg exercise. So we're going to do the half jacks that we did in the warm-up. So it's just side steps, one at a time. If you sat down, I forgot to show you this. Feel free to just do stepping up to the side, one either side, and having a bit of a reach across. Okay. You can start whenever you're ready. Keep going. Last few seconds. 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Okay, you can grab your weights again. We're going to be going on to our bicep curl. Nice to see a few of you in here, by the way. Thank you for being here. It makes a difference. And I hope you're well. 3, 2, 1, off we go. Don't have to explain this one. Bicep curl, very simple. What I would say is, make sure you control the movement. Same goes with every other lift that we'll do today. Particularly on the way down, try to control it against gravity. Don't let gravity do all the work. And try to keep your feet moving if you can. I'll show you. It's just the same from the seated position as it's an upper body exercise. Three, 2, 1. Well done. Okay, moving on to our backwards lunge. Similar to what we did in the warm-up. You can, if you're sat down, you can get out your chair and use your chair as support. And it'll just be doing some big backward steps. Or if you feel confident, you can go into more of a lunge. Totally up to you. Off you go when you're ready. You can also use a wall as support if you need to. If you were stood up initially, find the wall and just do a couple of lunges. A couple of tips is make sure your front knee isn't going over your toe. It means you're not stepping far back enough and your hips aren't far back enough. Last couple. 3, 2, 1. Well done. Okay. What is next? Let's think. Let's do some high knees. Sorry about the delay there. Just going to do some unweighted high knees like we did in the warm-up. Again, don't have to go all the way up. Just as high as comfortably possible. Last few seconds. Three, 2, 1. Fantastic. Grab one of your weights and we're going to be doing our squat again. We'll do a lot of these today, and that's because they're a very functional exercise, as I was explaining earlier. We need these exercises to build up the muscles in our hips and in our thighs. Which we use every day, of course. I'm sure you already know that. Last few seconds. 3, 2, 1. Excellent stuff. Okay, we're on to our first back exercise. For this, we're going to be doing an upright row. So we stand upright and we row the weights up towards our chest and down. Make sure your elbows are nice and high, higher than the weights. And so you can really squeeze your shoulder blades together. Same goes for if you sat down. Off you go when you're ready. Elbows high. If this hurts your shoulders, which it might do, you can do a different exercise, which is instead of an upright row, we do a bent over row. So we bend over slightly, slight bend in our knees, and we roll the weights behind our back, like this. Okay, a couple of alternatives. You can even do that from a seated position if you want. You just lean forwards, roll the weights behind you. Almost like you're opening a packet of crisps. You wish. Last couple. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Okay, on to the last exercise now of the first circuit. We're going to do some punch outs with some heel digs or toe taps at the same time. 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Thanks for the thumbs up, whoever that was. How generous. Thumbs up to you. Past halfway, keep going. This is a bit of a burner to finish, come on. Okay, start to punch at eye level now if you haven't been already. Really get the activation in the shoulders. Last couple. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Well done. Oof. Me, I don't know, I had a bit of a burn on then. Well done, that's the first circuit complete. Have yourselves a little drink. I'm going to go and make myself a little drink. I shall be back in a moment, so whilst you guys rest. Hello again. Okay, are we ready to go again already? Let's do it. Start my stopwatch again. And we're going to start with our side raise, okay? How long have we got? Yeah, perfect. So when you're ready, folks, if you still need more of a rest, you can rest as long as you want. It's totally up to you. And that goes for the whole thing. You can always just take a break at any point. I usually say that at the start, and there's something I forgot. Past halfway. Last few seconds. 3, 2, 1. Very good. Okay, put one of your weights down and we'll do our squats. Give yourselves a little break. 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Again, make sure your feet are nice and wide apart and you're really pushing your hips back for this one. If you're doing sit to stand, try and count how many reps you've got in the 45 seconds that we're doing. And we can compare it. Even if you're standing up, you can count them as well. Okay, past halfway. Last few. 3, 2, 1. Brilliant, well done. Okay, both your weights, and we are on to our punch ups. Took me a minute there. 3, 2, 1, off we go. Again, like with all the lifts, try and control the weights, particularly on this one. It can be quite tempting to throw punches as hard as you can, particularly if you've had a bad morning. But it's better to control the weights. Even if your milk has gone off in the fridge this morning. Last few seconds. There's nothing worse than that, by the way. Going to make yourself a brew and the milk's ran out or it's gone out. 3, 2, 1. Well done. Okay. Pop your weights down and we'll just do a little bit of a non-weighted exercise. Okay, we shall do a bit of a march on the spot, actually, is what we'll do. A march or a jog on the spot, totally up to you. I don't want to jog on the spot because I might fall through the floor. But you guys can if you're that way inclined. We've still got 3 people. Excellent stuff. Last couple. 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Onto our bicep curls. Give you a few seconds to get ready. 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Again, control them on the way down. And really try and keep your feet moving if you can. Helps the blood flow, but also just it gives your body another task. So if you find that the bicep curls are a bit easy, then try and get your feet moving as well. Because it means your body's got another body part to shift blood to. Makes it a bit more difficult. Past halfway. 3, 2, 1. Well done. Where are we now? We're on to backwards lunge. So, like we did before, use your chair as support if you need to, or a wall. And we are doing our backwards steps or backwards lunge, depending on whatever you feel comfortable doing. If you can do it without any support, I'd be well impressed. Not many people can. You can do a bit of a semi-lunge if you want as well. You know, if you feel a bit more confident. As you go to take your step backwards, just bend that front knee ever so slightly. And you'll go into a semi-lunge there. 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Okay. Moving on. We are going to do our, I'm trying to think. Let's do some half jacks again. That's what we'll do. Half jacks out here. If you want, you can do it with your weights. Totally up to you. So it's similar to the side raise. Or if you sat down, you can do a bit of a reach across, like we did before, but this time with weights in your hands. It's totally up to you. You can play around with it. Last few seconds. 3, 2, 1. Excellent stuff. Okay, now onto our squats. So again, weight between the palms. Call this a goblet squat. If we have a dumbbell in between our hands like this. When you're ready, off you go. Last few seconds. maybe not. Cancel that. Now to the last few. 3, 2, 1. Excellent, well done. Onto our back exercise. I'm going to give you the choice this time of either upright row, like we did before, or bent over row, if you prefer, so that it doesn't hit your shoulders. Totally up to you. I'm going to go with bent over row. When you're ready, off you go. That round. This bent over row is probably the trickiest exercise in terms of technique, because it requires a slight bend in your knees, but quite a big bend in your hips. Bend forwards. So it can put a bit of pressure on your lower back and requires a bit of flexibility in the hamstrings as well. So do whichever's easiest for you. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Well done. Where are we? Okay, we'll do our punch outs to finish. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Off we go. Just punch at shoulder height for now, and we'll try and gradually increase it. As always, keep breathing. That tends to help. Past halfway. Okay, we're going to punch a little bit higher now, about eye level. And you should feel the difference almost straight away. Last few seconds. 3, 2, 1. Oi. And rest. Well done. That's a burn there. Woo. Have a little rest, have a sip of your drink. Well done, that's the main section complete. Really well done. Oh. Where are we? 38 minutes. Okay. We're going to just do our cool down to finish, otherwise we'll feel super stiff tomorrow. So when you've had a little bit of a sip of your drink, we can make a start on our cool down. And we're just going to do that with a nice gentle march on the spot. Okay, moving into some heel digs. Again, nice and gentle. We've used our whole body in this exercise and circuit even. So we're going to need to take the time to cool each of our muscles down and then stretch them so they're not stiff tomorrow. Okay, into some heel pumps and roll our shoulders forwards, nice and slow like we did in the warm-up. Just a bit more gentle this time. and the other way. Okay, into some heels, half jacks. At your own pace, nice and gentle. You can do all these from a seated position, as you already know. So feel free to do that if you need to sit down as well, not a problem. Okay. And just a little 15-second gentle march again before we go into our stretches. Okay, into our stretches, we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up to the top. So for the first one, helps if you have a little wall, okay? So I want us to do a big step back and then bend our front knee but keep our back leg nice and straight. This is a calf stretch, okay? The trick is to keep your back heel touching the ground. Really drive that back heel into the ground. You should feel a stretch in your calf. Change legs. Excellent. Back against the wall if you've got one, you don't have to. Let's dig one of our heels into the ground in front of us and then just lean forwards from the hips until you feel a stretch in the back of your leg. Feels like a while since I've done one of these lives. It's nice to be back. I hope it's nice for you guys to see a different face. Does make a difference for those watching it in their own time. As long as I'm your favourite. I think I just changed legs without telling or saying to change legs, so my apologies. Next up, we've got our chest stretch. So for this, I'm just going to go hands behind the back and take nice deep breaths. Look up slightly towards the ceiling. Really stretch out. Excellent. Next up, a back stretch. So I like to lean against the wall for this and put my feet a little bit further in front of me. Okay. And the reason for that is that I can then lean forwards and stretch my back out. Excellent. Okay, a couple more to go. Shoulder stretch. We've worked our shoulders quite a lot, so I'm going to go arm across the chest. And then with your other hand, just hug your arm towards you. Just give yourself a good a nice hug. Sometimes we all need that. A little self-hug. Not the same as a normal hug, is it? Whilst you're there, you can just do a bit of wrist rotation. Just loosen up the wrist a little bit. We have been holding weights for the last 40 minutes. Okay, change arms. Oh, yeah, stiff. That's sore, I should say. Okay, last stretches. Tricep stretch, which is the back of the arm. Hand towards the top of your back, or as close to as possible. Okay, even if you can get it to there, I'm happy with that. From there, we're just going to be standing upright, looking straight ahead. If you feel like you need a more of a deeper stretch in this tricep, you can actually just push your elbow backwards until you feel a bit of a stretch there. Excellent, change arms. Again, upright posture, looking straight ahead is the key. And shake it off. Okay, well done. We'll do a couple of deep breaths to get me ready for the week, even though it's Tuesday. Ready? Breathe in. And out. And again, breathe in. And out. Well done. I'll give you a round of applause from here. Thank you very much for joining. And well done for coming along to the video. Run a little bit over time, maybe. Apologies if so. You can do these videos in your own time. You know that. They're always there on the channel. Try to be doing some form of moderate to vigorous activity at least 2 to 3 times a week if you can. Keep it up. Thanks again. Hopefully see you soon on one of these. Bye for now.